Hello there, good day, and welcome to the very first edition of the Alert for the year 2025. Permit me to say a happy new year. Welcome to the year 2025. I'm pretty sure you already know the meaning of the Alert. It simply means Veritas Alert, and it's a platform right here in the Archdiocese of Benin City where we use to keep you up to speed with various happenings in the Catholic Church, especially in the Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City. My name remains Ume Obianuju Nicole.
And I am Osamuni Ahmed Godswill Olu. And today we take a look at the January edition of the Veritas newspaper, which can be gotten from any parish in the Archdiocese of Benin for the fee of 500 naira. We have a lot in store for you, so all you have to do is take a seat and listen attentively, because there's so much information to be passed across today. Isn't that, Nicole?
That is absolutely correct. But before we begin, how was your Christmas and how was your New Year celebration?
The Christmas celebration was splendid and joyful, to say the least. What about yours?
Mine was great, amazing. Not restful, but I'm glad that we made it to the year 2025. So let's go straight into it. We have lots of top stories making the rounds on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, and we'll begin with a major headline here that says 2025 Jubilee Year, become an ambassador of hope to everyone, Archbishop Obiora Akubeze. And you can find full details on page 3 of the Veritas newspaper, where our very dear Archbishop was actually encouraging every Catholic faithful not to give up hope. Although the current economic realities might say different. But
True.
What do you think?
Well, I think that if there is no hope, all is lost. But
True.
I think we should all keep hope, because we all keep screaming, joy is coming. Anyway, still on page 3, you can find a story that says, respite as Filippo Ikena is finally ordained a priest. Akubeze describes ordination as extraordinary. Details of that on page 3 of the Veritas newspaper as soon as you grab a copy.
And yes, we are still celebrating the Catholic Women Organization at 60. 60 is
60 strong years.
Yeah, 60 strong years, 60 years of God's faithfulness, and the organization is still standing strong. Well, CWO at 60, the women have been a strong pillar of support for the vulnerable in our Archdiocese, and this was said by our dear Archbishop Obiora Akubeze. You can find that on page 5 of the Veritas newspaper.
Yes, and there's also a very interesting story on page 7 of the Veritas newspaper that says interfaith relations blossom in Oyo Diocese as Alhaji donates church hall. That's a beautiful story, I must say.
Mm-hmm.
And Alhaji, who is of a different faith, obviously a Muslim, donating to the Catholic Church a hall. It is beautiful and wonderful to hear such stories.
Yes, because most of the time I see really weird and odd stories of the Catholic or the Christian community and the Muslim community fighting
Being
and
at
all of that,
loggerheads.
being on loggerheads, not agreeing. So it's a beautiful thing to see that in Oyo Diocese, Muslim faithful has contributed or donated a church hall. And if you check some of the details on page 7, you see where he actually said that he respects the Catholic Church, he respects the Catholic faith, so which means that he has been watching. He has been watching.
You'll definitely be watching and following up with the happenings in the Catholic community.
Well, you can find complete details of that story on page 7 of the Veritas newspaper. Still on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, just below the major headline, we have a sub-headline here that says, Catholic military chaplains gather for annual retreats in Benin City. Focus on pastoral responsibilities amid security challenges.
But away from that story, I would like to give you the headline of the story that says Vivian Ogu 15 Memorial. How you can become a promoter of the cause, according to Dumbiri. It is on page 12 of the Veritas newspaper that I will need to remind you can be gotten from any parish in the Archdiocese of Benin City for the fee of 500 naira.
And yes, Reverend Father Dumbiri talked about how in different ways we can promote the cause of Vivian Ogu. We can first talk about her. There are some persons who do not know the story of Vivian Ogu, which is quite understandable. So one of the ways you can promote the cause is by talking about it, okay? Talk about it and donate to the cause. You can find complete details on page 12, while still below the sub-headlines, we have a story here that says eulogies showered on Bazwaye as he marks 100 years birthday anniversary. A centenarian in our midst.
Right,
telling you, congratulations to him. Still happy birthday. Yeah, still celebrating him. And then it was a beautiful occasion. So many Reverend Fathers were there at the church to celebrate with him and his friends and his family. 100 years on planet Earth.
That is no mere feat. And
at all.
Talking about the fact that 100 years in this our beautiful and amazing country of Nigeria. Come on, it definitely it's not easy. But away from that story, we still have a story that is a bit sad because Father Alumuku is talking about abductions of Catholic priests tarnishing Nigeria's image. Yes, abductions of Catholic priests tarnishing Nigeria's image, says Father Alumuku, and details about what Father Alumuku had to say can be found on page 3 of the Veritas newspaper.
I see news stories from time to time where you see Catholic priests that are being abducted, kidnapped. Sometimes some are being killed, especially when you cannot bring their demands. I see it's quite unfortunate because looking at the security challenges we are still facing, I feel that some persons just target the Catholic Church for some reasons best known to them. So I just hope that Nigeria will get better, and I hope the government actually looks into the security of not just the Catholic Church and not just the priests, but also the entire citizenry. And elsewhere, we have Christmas Day as a holiday of obligation. Yeah, definitely. Everyone knows Christmas Day.
Yeah,
is a holiday
if you don't know by
of
now,
obligation.
we are happy to let you in on that piece of information. Christmas Day is a holiday of obligation.
It is an important day where we celebrate the birth of Christ, our dearly beloved Jesus Christ. You can find complete details, more of that story on page 2 of the Veritas newspaper. So we'll move over to page 11, where we get to discuss the voice of the faithful, and also keep you up to speed with the editorial on page 10. The editorial on page 10 says the court killings in Edo State must end now. So the recent frequent killings within Benin City, the state capital of Edo, and other areas within Edo State have been described as an ongoing court clash in the state. The killings have also affected people who do not belong in any court.
That's the saddest part of the entire debacle that happened last year, towards the end of last year. A lot of court killings, and the worst part of it all were some innocent people who had nothing to do with these civic courts that were maimed and murdered for reasons best known to the murderer. So our thoughts and prayers are with those affected by the tragedy, and we strongly and firmly believe that court killings need and must end in Edo State right now. Hence the recent passing of a bill that really brings stiffer penalties to those who perpetrate in court activities, not just by being physically involved, by also supporting. You get much more stiffer penalties, not just fines, not even fines this time around. Very, very stiff penalties that could see you rot behind bars for a long time.
And then we move over to the voice of the faithful.
Yeah, well, on the Voice of the Faithful, today's discussion is tax reform bill. And the Voice of the Faithful, you're being asked, what is your take on the proposed law to reform the payment of taxes in Nigeria, currently being debated at the National Assembly by some of the political stakeholders?
You still cannot take away the fact that there are certain persons in our dear one country that still do not pay taxes. I pay my tax. Do you pay tax?
Well, I definitely do. It is quite sacrosanct that no matter your field of occupation, you do pay your taxes, because your tax is very important for moving the nation forward.
So one thing is actually paying your tax. Another is seeing your tax working, seeing your money working. Because from time immemorial, people have been paying tax. Nigerians have been paying tax. But the heartbreaking part is that even after paying tax, you do not see returns of the tax being paid.
That is why you should hold your local government officials, the officials that are closest to you in your locality, hold them responsible for things not being right around you. And I think if we should do this more often, definitely change will start coming one after the other.
And we go to the back page of the Veritas newspaper, where we have sports extra. So for all our sport lovers, we have a sport for you. And the first headline here says Ademola Lookman wins CAF African Footballer of the Year. So this news came as a good news for every Nigerian.
A very heartwarming
And I expected this, to be honest.
He put in the work. He had a fantastic season, both with club and country, just falling short of the AFCON glory, but took his team to the finals of the Europa League and scored a hat-trick, the first hat-trick in a major European final for a very, very long time. So you cannot deny the fact that that was very, very well deserved.
Yes, the ceremony was held in Marrakech, Morocco. Congratulations are still in order to Ademola Lookman for winning CAF African Footballer of the Year. Moving on.
All right, we'll quickly take a look at the world of Formula One. Where Max Verstappen has won his fourth consecutive Formula One world title. He claimed the fourth consecutive Formula One world title under the lights of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So congratulations to Max Verstappen, making history by winning his fourth consecutive world title in the world of Formula One. Details for this story, as well as the Ademola Lookman story, Ademola Lookman winning the CAF Player of the Year, you can find details of these on page 46. The story starts from the back page and move on to be completed and concluded on page 46 of the Veritas newspaper.
We have been reviewing top stories at the front page and the back page of the Veritas newspaper, and this is still V Alert, and do not forget that it comes every month. And before we wrap things up today on the show, well, we'll not forget to remind you that if you have a business, if you have a brand, or if you have an event coming up, you can place your advert on the Veritas newspaper. Okay, you can come down to the office or simply call 07043873298 or 08061255024. So do well to advertise with Veritas newspaper for your change of name, for your announcement, any ceremony, be it birthday celebration, be it a funeral ceremony, any celebration worthwhile, we can cover for you, and also have it on the Veritas newspaper.
Yes, also if you have an event that you need live streaming for, or you want a photo book, or you want a video coverage of your wedding, birthday, burial ceremonies, or any event at all, you can also reach out to Catholic Social Communication. Follow them across their platforms and channels on Facebook at Veritas Communications Benin and YouTube at Catholic Archdiocese of Benin City Communication. They are quite amazing when it comes to covering your events. Contact them on 08137447852 or 08061255024. Trust me, if you patronize Catholic Social Communication, you definitely have proper and adequate value for your money.
And that's how it comes to the end of the alert for today and for the month. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us on the same platform next month, and definitely we'll be here to bring you up to speed with several happenings in the Archdiocese of Benin for the month of February. And as we wind down, do not forget that you should follow our Catholic Social Communications on Facebook and on YouTube. Do well to follow, like the page, and subscribe. Till we come your way again, my name is Ume Obianu Juniko.
And I am Osamudi Ame Godswill Olu, and I would like to remind you that in this season, remember to always show love.